Paranoid Radio.
Kiss. Keep it simple, stupid.
Paranoid.
Tell me, boy.
Testicles, 1, 2, testicles. Welcome back, everybody, to Paranoid Radio Podcast. It's your boy, Trebles Garcia. This is the best show with the best content for the best listeners, and I got a special event, special episode, massive bonus drop on a Friday morning, the same week we dropped the Outlook by Brooke. If you haven't already checked it out, make sure you check it out. This episode does not include Big Tank. However, it does include two big-time mogul stars, influencers, and people that slingshotted us into the community. More from Breaking the Matrix podcast and JB from Rogue One Media have a sit down on a red pill heavy hitter carpet with massive bombs of knowledge for the bank of knowledge. So make sure you stick around and listen to this amazing episode called Red Pills with the Red Pill Heavy Hitter Gang crew. More from Breaking the Matrix and Rogue One Media's own JB. With fiery topics like the Galactic Report brought to you by Rogue One Media. And if you guys haven't noticed, we're also dropping fiery topics in the same raw content, unedited, unfiltered video content dropping on Rumble. So make sure you check us out on Rumble, and all the links are on paranoidradio.com. Check this out. Topics like the Galactic Report, high-frequency manifestation, and how we can transcend from 2D to 3D to 4D and stop getting entertained by the everyday low-level frequency activity bullshit feeding us, getting fed to us by the media. Morph contributed so much to this podcast in the beginning of our podcast career, and here we are now with an amazing sit-down. So make sure you stay tuned and enjoy the Red Pill Heavy Hitter Gang crew sit-down on Red Pills.
Paranoid Radio.
Welcome back to the Galactic Update Report, brought to you by Rogue One Media and Paranoid Radio. I'm JB. Let's get into it. So, backstory here. Elena Danant, I have been following her for several years now, and she is the only human that I know that has been designated as an emissary to the Galactic Federation of Worlds, which she is designated as the disclosure personnel. So she is part of that military operation and not the Earth Alliance. So she reports to the ET, the Galactic Fed. She was abducted when she was 8 years old, and by the Greys for the hybrid program. She was monitored by the Galactic Federation because she had a destiny to be a disclosure emissary. So they tracked her and rescued her when she was 8. And ever since, she's had a lifelong relationship with these Palladian ETs and many other ETs that she has grown very close with. So her whole life, she has been interacting with ETs and traveling the stars like it's normal. So when she speaks, it's like everyday stuff for her. She shares a story that took place a week or two ago, and she traveled to the Sirius star system B, and she went to this planet, describes her experience on this planet and the reunion with her friend, and then follows that up with another trip to the moon. So we have two trips that she took over the course of a week, had to sneak into the moon because she doesn't have clearance from the Earth military.
We flew at the edge of the solar system, and there was a portal there that we took. There are stargates everywhere. There's not only the stargate behind Jupiter, which is a big motorway, we can say. There is also the stargate at the edge of the star system, and we took this one. It's huge star, giant, and it's blue-white. And I need a while to adjust my eyes. Some bit of a mist sometimes in between the buildings. Vegetations on roof, balconies, parks, bridges, a lot of bridges. Most of the vehicles are anti-gravity or flying, and we get out of the ship. The air was pure. The oxygen, it smelled nearly like ozone. It was so pure, and very loaded in oxygen, so I was a bit dizzy first. It was a bit cold, colder than on Earth, although there was a beautiful sunshine. Seriously, we walked through this spaceport. And who was waiting for us? Myra. Myra and her family. I've been missing her so much. She's always been looking after me. Now I'm a big girl, I'm an emissary for the Galactic Federation of Worlds. She doesn't need to look after me anymore. We cried. We had a meal there. It was a meal, it was weird, jelly. And she entered my DNA code that she knows by heart in her applicator. And the food that, well, the jelly that came out was adapted to my DNA, my enzymes, and I could digest it, and it was tasting like a bit of lime. It was nice. There was a little bit of crunchy bits in it. I said, what is it? We spoke about the old times.
So that was then. Then a few days later, she gets a surprise from her longtime contact, Thorhan Aradian, who's a commander of a Galactic Federation fleet. Took her to the moon. She describes it over here about seeing the med beds and seeing how the med beds operate and how they're going to be rolled out, address our DNA to its pure form the way it was originally before it was altered. So that's a quick touch on that coming right up.
To convince and get me clearance, etc., etc. He said to me, I take you for a surprise. So beamed on board his ship, like, wow, I never seen the moon so close. Every time I go on the Excelsior, sometimes I see the moon by the window. Not always, but sometimes. So we flew closer and closer to the surface. We could have gone faster, but Thoran wanted me to enjoy. He does always that. So there's this opening, and the ship just went down. Of course it's hollowed and under a very, very thick layer of surface, okay? There was a huge spaceport with a very, very, very high ceiling, and there was so many ships in there, so different shapes, so different cultures. So as we landed, Thorhan told me, now we're gonna play it like this. You're the emissary of the Galactic Federation of Worlds, which is a fact. Now you're going to be one of us. You are not Terran, you are Tal. Don't worry. You're Tal emissary for the Galactic Federation. I had no clearance. Ardana was aware of this. She knew about that. It was a plan to get me to see some stuff, to tell you. Everything is a plan for Han. Even when it looks like a dodgy plan, it's a plan from higher instances, okay? But the atmosphere was totally breathable. So you get out of the landing bay, these floating platforms. And that took us to through the base. It was all metallic med beds, like the structure is built in a factory place, not far from where we were. They are, I have to say, they are finished, completed, and that's when they put the holographic technology inside. So I could see that, and I could see Earth scientists. It was mainly Earth scientists. It's the frequency key of the original DNA sample frequency code. When the human beings of Terra were at their full potential, unaltered. So this is the original sample of human Terran race, a hybrid compound of 10 ET genes, intergalactic genes, and a local creature. Pure, pristine DNA with a potential. It was amazing. And that cures everything. Repaired, rejuvenated. Thorhan showed me this. And he wanted me to report what Ardana actually wanted me to report. And Thorhan brought me back home. And that was what I can report. We are here today, the 30th of March 2023. We are heading towards a beautiful, bright future. My name is Elena Danan. I am at your service as the emissary of the Galactic Federation of Worlds.
I mean, think about what we just heard.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you say?
She has a very positive tone on things, because here on Earth, at least on Earth, everything's chaotic and we're distracted by a lot of things, right? But the end game, it's a bigger picture. You have to be outside of that picture. You have to have the mentality also. You have to have the heart to be able to see outside of that picture. That's what I
said.
think.
It, bro. You said it.
Yep.
We get hit with black pills. We get hit with black pills all day long, and then to see somebody who gets a bigger picture and sees the end game past all this, how excited she is that she can share it. it gives hope, and it sets me straight, because we all fall into it. Like, we have no choice, but we fall into these holes because we're hit with it. Pull yourself out of it. You can say, okay, we're gonna get there, and like, there is a light at the end of this tunnel. And if you don't know, like, that what's going on with this, and you hear this story and the sincerity that she speaks with, you could see that she's being sincere. If she's lying, by all means, man, she is a fantastic liar, because I've never seen somebody so naturally sincere about the stories they tell. That's all you could say is she lying, or is she telling the truth? Because she's talking about leaving the planet, going into space, seeing other civilizations, and describing how they live and having relationships with them. What do you say, Morph?
Well, she came across as authentic to me personally. The thing is that with everything going on in our realm, in our reality, in our density, there's other densities that are also operating at the same or different frequencies, basically, and they can send emissary, quote unquote, or choose emissaries from the local native people or populations, or the group, and they're given a certain, let's say, backstage access. And this is what she basically got, was a backstage access to what's really been going on, that the human population on Earth, as she called it, the human terra, basically, we're not privy to this. But I'm 100% certain, without a shadow of my mind, that this does actually happen, that she's probably not the only one. There is plenty of others. I don't know, like, lately I've been having very vivid dreams of being in, like, an alternate reality, a different life. It's like parallel versions of this world. And we could also be ones traveling and being emissaries without us even realizing it, So I think that's actually, like, especially you, JB. I mean, like, you're high tuned when it comes to this intergalactic stuff. Yeah. So you're probably an emissary in another world.
Absolutely.
Example,
I've already been told that we have fractals of ourselves. There's like multiples of our consciousness that are on other planets. All of us, we're not just what we are. We're in many places. And I've spent the last 12 months going deep with my own personal exploration, evolution, growth, real solitary, of just deep searching and meditating and traveling, and just really putting in that effort to get to this, raise the consciousness, to raise my vibration, my frequency, and connect with my galactic, my solar family, my light family, my guardian angels. And it really is working. And I could just attest to it. What you just said, Morph, is that yes, this is exactly what is going on. And she's the only one that I am aware of right now that is disclosing this. I'm sure there's plenty of others, but she has like some kind of military clearance to disclose.
Have you ever heard of? Sorry to interrupt. Have you ever heard of Corey Good? Corey Good, I think.
Yeah, of course, but I don't know his whole background. He's very mainstream, so tell me about him.
Yeah. Well, I discovered him through Gaia, whatever it's called. Gaia, I think that's the
mainstream.
Okay,
Gaia's actually mainstream now.
Well, Forbidden Knowledge, he's mainstream.
I love him.
People still, but he's mainstream. Like,
he shows up
now on Ancient Aliens on the History Channel. Ancient Alien, he shows up. He gives his 2 cents here and there. So what do you? For me, it's like I take people at what the message they have to say. And just because you make it in the mainstream, let's say, doesn't mean you've sold out 100%. Like, some people haven't. I don't know. It's just I haven't.
So you got a good vibe from Corey Good.
Well, I don't believe everything he's got to say, but I keep an open mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I keep an.
There's a lot of them out there. There's a lot of the so-called the messengers. There's the Matthias kid. That Matthias kid. He's on Gaia.
Yes.
Some of the stuff I vibe with him. Some of the stuff I do not. They all seem to have these grand stories that sometimes connect, because there's always truth to everything. I'm not saying that they're operatives or anything, but for some reason, she has been the only one that doesn't deviate from anything that is in line with with everything else that gets confirmed, because she does tell fantastic stories. I mean, look at Dolores Claiborne, Dolores Cannon. She was amazing.
Yes,
and she
yes.
told some really outrageous stories, but she never got caught. Like you could tell she was never lying either. Like she had the same like delivery where it was sincere and authentic, and there wasn't no ego behind it. Some of them, there's people, their ego. So I pick and choose. Everybody vibes with who they vibe with, and I only have like a select few. She's one of them. And Dr. Michael Sala is another one. He just reports on what he's like me. He just gets the information and reports it on a grander scale. He doesn't have contact with ETs. But I mean, listen, if you're in the flat Earth community and you're saying space doesn't exist, you're just not seeing any of this stuff, and you're refusing to see it. So I've gone down that rabbit hole, and I'm sorry, but it just doesn't match up. And so because they don't acknowledge this kind of stuff, they just don't even look at it. So how could you get the equation and say this is this without even acknowledging what we're hearing right now? This is a person, human being that's alive, that's telling us that they traveled. They're not like making it up. If they are, then you're calling them a liar. But if they're not, then that means you have to have some valid leverage with the story. Right?
Absolutely.
I mean, you talk with flat earthers, right, Morph?
Yeah, I've had debates with them, and it's quite interesting and entertaining, as well as enlightening for me, because I like to hear what brought them to that conclusion. So I ask the right questions, and I ask them questions that makes them question what they already believe, just to see if they are brainwashed themselves, or are they convinced by the facts of what's in front of them. If you're convinced by the facts that there's we're not necessarily heliocentric, but the world is definitely not flat.
They bring a lot of math. They bring a lot of those math equations that are valid.
Extremely passionate. Extremely passionate in what they do. I'll tell you
I have noticed though, but after interviewing, Flat Earth Dave and his community, I've noticed that they have a lot of radical left tendencies where if you don't agree with them, they get very angry. They get they attack you. They berate you. They did that to me, and I said, "Aren't we on the same team? Aren't we truth seekers? Aren't we trying to get to the same? Why are we fighting and why are we dividing each other? And why are you attacking me? Because I don't agree with what you're saying entirely. I'm willing to hear it, but I have this view, and until it's changed, I'm going to, show me something. But if I don't agree with you, you immediately put me down and attack me. So it's got a lot of that liberalism tendency, which tells me they're kind of controlled opposition.
Mm-hmm. So I always felt there was some kind of psyops. When they first came out, I was like, yeah, I felt like this is some kind of psyops to basically discredit truthers out there, to make us look a loony, toony, hoony, boony, whatever you want to call it, They want to disclose, they want to disregard space. They don't want space to exist because they don't want us looking into space. So they want to actually make it like space doesn't exist. So it's a perfect psyop if you think about it. Right. What made you not fall for it? Trebs, what made you not, or do you believe in
Trebs hasn't concluded himself yet.
I am an open-minded person. If you're telling me that we live in a realm and you have the fucking passion and the backup to tell me and convince me, I'll listen to you all day. You'll be on the episode and I'll put it out for people could understand it, and then they'll give you feedback. If they want to believe on it, they will. I honestly do not think the world is flat. I think we're all luminaries. I think God comes, if the creator comes from above, he has to come up from outer space. And I'm a fucking Star Wars geek. So I could tell you that this right now. It's been engraved in my head. Maybe it is the biggest lie in all humanity. Maybe they did it in the beginning to fucking control the seasons, control us, control and divide us, to disconnect us from the creator. Perhaps, maybe. But quite honestly, I think that at this point, there's stars, right? There's planets. I know for a fact there's fucking aliens. And now that there's proof as well with the UFOs and the UAPs that are coming out, right? All the disclosure and shit. The flat Earth is getting their asses kicked right now. Quite honestly.
I agree.
Can you be a flat earther but still believe in ETs, or not necessarily ETs, extra dimensionals, for example?
They try to mix it all in. They try to say, yes, ETs exist because they're extraterrestrials, meaning that on the other side of the Arctic wall, land continues. So they just come from extended land, which is extra land, extraterrestrials. That's how they convince themselves. And I was willing to accept the Earth being flat, but I couldn't get behind the no space thing. I was like, I can go with possibly the Earth being flat, but you're telling me space doesn't exist? Like with all the evidence and all the witnesses and all the testimonials and all the whistleblowers about traveling in space and the secret space program, you're telling me that doesn't
and
exist?
people getting probed.
Hey, come on, like we're in this glass dome.
110%.
That's what they lose
You had
me.
to take it there. You had to take it there.
I had to
Travis.
take it there. You're getting probed, like Big Tank got probed. Absolutely.
Probe Nation. I mean,
You know, I honestly think at the end of the day, bro, the most beautiful thing about the I want to call them the galactics, even the flat earthers, there's one thing that they do have in common. It's you guys are both are sticking it to the man, and both are trying to do the right thing.
that's where we
Trying to
go
evolve
align.
us.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what you guys align. And quite honestly, you guys are taking us away from the problems that are down here on Earth, and keeping us from being feeble-minded, right? And getting stuck in the loophole, in the little rat trap, in the little freaking mouse wheel, running back and forth and screaming at each other because you're blue, because you're red, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. When in reality, there's a bigger picture, like I mentioned in the beginning. And both sides, even the flat earthers or the rounders, there's rounders out there too. We all have one thing in common that all leads to the same thing, leads to the freaking stars, leads to a creator, a bigger mass collective of consciousness, and overall something good.
And knowing who our enemy is, like, that's where we really are on the same team. And that's why I tell them, like, listen, guys, we're on the same team. We know who our enemy is. We know the cabal. We know all the lies they've been telling us. Why are we dividing ourselves and fighting each other and attacking each other? Because they create these divisions amongst us. And I mean, I think, and with the forbidden knowledge, he's a fantastic. That guy's deep in his knowledge, and he is 100% like, listen, the flat Earth is a psyop that was inflicted on truth seekers and led down this path, and now they're completely like they're deep into it, and they can't pull themselves out. This stuff is powerful. The programming that they do to their minds.
JB, but you mentioned something when we were discussing behind the works, I won't say behind the curtain, that you also experimented with something with your consciousness recently.
Yeah. Well, the last time I was on the show.
Do you mind sharing that story?
Well, as far as the manifestation, well, listen, I'm Morph. I don't know if you're aware, but the last time I was on this show, I told a story about how last year I was contacted, and I was watching that video, and all of a sudden I went into a hypnosis out of nowhere. It was kind of like an MK Ultra, where it was like a trigger word went off, and I was in a deep meditative trance and contacted by higher beings, and again disclosed a lot of information that just was flooding my brain. Since then, I have been like deep into just exploring all this and really like finding my purpose. And I've been conducting these subconscious programming, because I know how powerful the programming is on the subconscious mind. So I said, why don't I do a reverse MK Ultra and program my mind for empowering, positive, and higher conscious stuff. So every single night when I go to sleep, I put the recordings on in my ears, and I have a full hours of deep subconscious programming, where it's a mix of stuff where it's with manifestation and higher consciousness, positive program, like really just filling my computer and my brain with empowering programming, which is what we're doing anyway. Like watching TV or hearing the news, we're getting that same program. So I said, why don't I just do it on a positive? So I just flood my brain every night with all this good, powerful, empowering stuff. And it's been months now. It's been like 7-8 months. And I noticed the progress and the changing how I think and how my thoughts throughout the day are constantly veering towards, and I'm hearing the words in my head throughout the day. Because a lot of times I fall asleep and it's just playing while I'm sleeping, which is great because I'm in that theta state. So I conducted an experiment, because I was like, I really want to see if this really works now on a small scale. So I said, let me see if I can manifest something on a small scale. So I said, I'm going to pick something that is very significant but attainable. Not like, hey, I want $1 million in my bank account tomorrow. I just want something that I know is like a challenge but is attainable to really see, because you got to believe. And the trick to the thing, it's very simple. It's a formula. It's just, you've got to see the end result, what you want in your head, and visualize it, but you also got to feel it, the emotion of feeling it already being attained, like it's already there. You have to carry yourself in a state of mind as if you've already reached that point and it's already there. And then the subconscious will have to make it happen, and the universe will have to, because everything we visualize is already there waiting for us, and it's just like another dimension. You just pull the veil off and you step into it. So that's how simple it is, but it's very difficult because we always doubt and we need to see physical evidence immediately. And it's it's very hard to keep that state of mind without falling into the doubt, the fear and the lack and the need. You can't chase it. You have to already have it in your head. So I said, all right, here's the thing. We're gonna put a mission down. I called my guardian angels, archangels, my light family, the universe, subconscious. I said, gather around, let's have a meeting. This is the mission, and it's a simple one. It's like I had these two. I sell e-commerce. I had these two expensive generators that have been sitting in my warehouse for 2 years and not moving. They cost a lot of money to buy and a lot of money to ship, and I've gotten no interest. Nobody's biting on these items, and I got to get rid of them. They're big, bulky, they're expensive. And I said, all right, guys, listen. It's middle of March. I said by April 1st, 2 weeks from now, I want these things sold. Nobody's sniffed at it for 2 years. Show me what you got. I want to see you make it happen. I'm going to step back, let the magic happen. You guys handle it. I'm not doing anything. I'm going to visualize it. I'll help you. I'll be active in, I'll participate, but it's your project. Make it happen. You got 2 weeks.
You surrendered it. Yeah.
Yeah. Impress me. Go. And 2 days later, both of them were sold. Bang, bang. 2 days later. 2 years. Sorry. Whoa, sorry, guys.
Materializing it.
2 years, not a bite. 2 years, not even a message to say, not even nothing. 2 days after I put the same thing out there, it was gone. I was shocked. I was blown. Oh, I was like, holy shit. I was like, good job. Round of applause. Whoever had the lead on this. Great job, guys. Like, really see it. Now I'm a believer. Now I'm like, you could do it on this level and you could do it on a grand level. It's all the same to them. The universe doesn't matter. Like just because I think it's a small thing or a big thing, that's in me. But for the universe, it's like whatever you need, it's there. This is nothing. This is like a snap of a finger for the universe. So now I've got the belief, I've got the experience, and I have something to draw on where I don't doubt now because I've already experienced it. So now I know it can be done. And now I'm like, all right, guys, we're getting to work. We're going big time now. So now I got some projects going that I'm setting up for the team. But yeah, anybody could do it. So I just want to put it out there. Like, I've experienced it. It's real and it's simple and it's just a very simple voice. See it, believe it, step back, let the magic happen, ask for it, and it's yours. And now that we're going into this fifth dimension, it happens quick. It's not like the old days where it takes a delay for it to happen. Things manifest very quickly, so you got to be careful about what you think, feel, and project on a daily basis. If you're constantly seeing yourself struggling, searching for a job or searching for this or needing that or the cabal hurting us, if you're seeing that in your head all day long, it's going to manifest itself. So we've got to start seeing the good future, the good now, the good present, and live our lives in an uplifting way on a daily basis and kind of pull out of that black hole.
I have a testimony on that. And it's true. I've been trying to get this job. I landed a couple of interviews and I've been in and out of them, right? The last one that I went to, the thing is this, there's a key thing that I'm not doing right. My intent's correct. My emotions are there. I'm manifesting positively. I know what I want. It's figured in my head, right? Everything's there. It's generalizing. But the only reason I cannot materialize it is because I want it fast. I'm not surrendering it. It's going to come when it comes, and I need to keep trying. You know, there's a passage in the Bible, and I'm not religious, but I need to go back to the Bible because the Bible says, God helps who help themselves. And it's the same thing. If I don't help myself, if I just stop because I couldn't get the job, or they humiliated me, or they talked a lot of shit, or they brought my morale down, or they destroyed my freaking motivation, whatever it is, if I stop now, then I'm really not going to help myself, right? I need to continue doing it and then put the intent and then surrender it to God. Say, you know what? It's in your hands. I'm going to keep busting my ass to get it. And it's you guide that shit. You drive now. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm trying to drive. That's the problem. I'm not the driver. He is. You see what I'm saying, right? So what I got from your story and your experiment is that you have intent and you surrendered it. Once you called upon your angels and you said, hey, you know what? Get the shit sold. Bam. That's what I need to do. So I learned a lesson.
Don't chase it and don't need it. Don't carry yourself as if they have it and you need it. You don't need it. You have it already. And it might not be that. You might mean something bigger. So attract what it is that's going to fulfill your purpose and believe in that. So if you get kicked out and pushed out, it's because you weren't supposed to be there. You're supposed to be in the perfect place all the time. You're in the perfect place. So you create it and you'll step into it.
I have something to fulfill.
What's up with you, Morph? You have anything to share on this topic?
Oh yeah, of course, man. Like I'm living my manifestation right about now. I'm living proof that with intent and intensity, but you also have to carry through some actions. You can't, for me personally, I can't necessarily like I surrender, yeah, but I still gotta take action somehow.
Of course.
Like so you surrender, say, okay, take it over from here. I let go of the wheel, take it over, God, Lord Jesus, take the wheel. As a preacher would say. So like that's what I do sometimes, but I'm still in the passenger seat, and I'm still like doing what I can to manifest my whatever I want.
It's
And
called co-creating. We create together. Yeah. I'm creating the destiny. The universe is, we're creating it together. It's not a one-way show. We do it together. So that's why when you take action, that's what I said when I did the manifestation. I said I'm going to do my part. I'm going to be active, and I'm going to make sure everything I do to make things happen. And now you guys do your part. I'm not going to try and step in and get in the way of it. But yeah, of course, yes. I'm going to do. It's a team effort. That's why I said my team. It's a team effort. So Absolutely. It's all in your head, like how you see it.
I have to agree with that. Now, to switch paces a little bit, guys, if you guys don't mind.
Yeah.
Morph, you had to speak on, you had something to share about Canada. I know you used to stay in Canada, not anymore, but you are a Toronto kid, right?
No, Montreal.
Montreal. You're from Quebec.
And Quebec,
you love Canada. Well, you used to love what Canada was, the ideal of it. And I need to know, I need to understand what's your take on what's happening in Canada right now, bro?
Well, I'll always love Canada. That's never going to change. What I'm not in love with, which I do find worrisome, is the communist tyrannical regime that's taken over and imposing certain laws which infringe upon religious freedoms, especially during the crackdown of the lockdowns. They're still going after priests. They're still going after priests who are trying to awaken parents from drag shows and saying, why are you bringing your children there? What's that going to teach them? What good is it going to bring to their world? This is they're exposing them to indecency and sexual acts from grown-ass men, and you actually think this is okay. So this priest is basically getting arrested. And aside from that, a year ago during the truckers' convoy, it was the largest, most peaceful demonstration, if anything, Canada's ever had in its history, bro. In its history. And they came in, they stomped on these peaceful demonstrators. Why? Because they wanted Canada back from the Klaus Schwab puppet that is Justine Castro Jr. Trudeau, So,
yeah.
Right now they're enforcing the 15-minute cities everywhere, from what I heard. They're increasing carbon taxes, so it's going to increase the inflation. It's like impoverishing the middle class. People are finding it hard to get by. What else is he doing? Oh, of course, pushing the hardcore trans agenda on everybody, shoving it down our throats, which is a common thread in the US also. So there's not only that, let me finish. But recently it came out that there was a CCP, China's Communist Party, planted an actual operative in the Canadian government, right? And Canada's like FBI, basically this the RCMP, they discovered this. CSIS, pardon me, they discovered this. And they brought it to mainstream media. And now the whistleblowers are getting blowback for exposing this grand corruption, this collusion with China.
Is he a spy or what is he? An operative? Like one dude, or are you talking about?
He works as part of the Liberal cabinet, which is, in the States, you guys got the Democrats and Republicans. Up in Canada, there is Liberals, there's Conservatives, there's NDPs, which are basically an offshoot of Liberals at this point. They don't really stand up for anything anymore. And there's a few other parties. But like right now, the neoliberal agenda that's being enforced on the Canadian population is akin to what is going on, what's already in place in China, So it's going after people's bank accounts just because they were protesting against the government.
It seems kind of like Canada and Australia are kind of like the testing field for this type of communism, right? Because they don't have any guns. They already have the rights and the corrupted politicians. So it seems like they're already set up for the new world order type of situation. And the only reason that we don't fall into that so fast is because we have, the amendments and stuff. Yeah. Crazy stuff.
Exactly. That's the singular difference between the US and all those countries that have fallen. Because they have fallen. Canada has fallen. It saddens me to say this, but Canada has fallen. Australia has fallen.
America has fallen. The Republic has fallen. Like we have the exact same thing. It's worldwide. It's just that Trudeau is a step ahead of us because he was already in office before, because we had Trump who kind of slowed things down over here. Trudeau was already there working with the CCP, working with the globalists, implementing their satanic agenda, and it's now there. Australia, New Zealand, Germany, the UK, and France, they're still fighting. They're still attempting to resist. The US has not resisted at all yet. We've still have just been sitting on our hands doing nothing, while at least Europe is gathering and showing a unity in resistance, looking at America, basically saying, when are you guys going to stand up and actually do something about this? And we haven't, which is highly disappointing, because we have all the resources. We have arms, we have the amendment, we have the Constitution, and we're not doing anything. And that's terrible, because we're falling right in line. We're just a couple steps behind Canada right now, and it's just leading down there. So yeah, everything you say, we're experiencing, we have been, and we see it on a daily basis. And it's just something that we're dealing with, but we're trying to just resist. But it's like, this is the trap I feel like I fall into, where I'm on the light side, I'm on the higher consciousness, I'm visualizing a good future, and then I also feel the need and the passion and the urge to fight and get nasty and savage and rile people up and say, get off your fucking asses, and start resisting, because I feel like it's necessary. So I'm always balancing these two teeters. And it's like you, Morph, you got the Breaking the Matrix page and you got the Universal Love Frequency page. You're going from one here, which is important, but it's like, I can't only be on this side because they need me over here, because we're in a fight. And so it's very tricky. So I find myself, that's what we dance, this dance.
And it's very entertaining. It's a freaking show, bro. Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I love Trump now. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, but the whole idea of him getting arrested while other shit was happening with Leonardo DiCaprio and shit, like, okay, it's all fucking sleight of hand. It's all entertaining, bro. It's just at this point, bro. It's like, they already have the dominoes set to fall. And they know exactly what's going to happen each day with each person, regardless if it's good or bad, right? It's like already a setup for them. It's very entertaining. And
so what is it? Is it falling? Is it a movie that's falling apart? I mean, a movie that's designed to just fall apart and get us to wake up and they're in control? I don't go down that road, because I only go with what I see. And I don't believe in the white hat thing. I believe in the future, but I don't believe that we're supposed to sit back and wait for somebody to do it for us. So I always say, until it happens, you need to act as if they're not coming and fight.
Yeah.
Well, here's some food for thought. All those people on the Jeffrey Epstein list, no one has gone after them.
Yeah.
Not a single arrest. Yeah. And yet they arrested a former president of the United States.
They just put somebody in jail for 10 years for a meme. A guy who made fun of Hillary Clinton is now been sentenced to 10 years in prison for a meme. What else do we need to see? Like, this guy's in jail. January 6th, the January 6th people that are in jail, that enrages me more than anything, because nobody's doing anything. Not Congress. I don't hear Trump saying anything. I don't hear nobody saying, get these freaking people out of that jail now. They're innocent. They're prisoners in their own country, as if they're foreign enemies.
It went over people's heads.
They're torturing them. Some of them have died. Like, they're not feeding them. They're not bathing them. They're just beating them. They're not nothing sanitary. They're dying in there, and we're not doing anything. We should be on the steps just raging to get them out, and nothing's happening. That's the biggest disappointment I've seen. The biggest atrocity and the biggest crime against America is those people sitting in that prison right now while they're freeing criminals, and they're lowering sentences on criminals. And the Bidens, they're not being arrested for their crimes. Nobody, Epstein 16 people. Nobody's being touched, but a kid who writes a meme is in jail for 10 years, and innocent January 6th victims are being ignored and abandoned by their own country.
Bro,
I disgrace.
That DC bill, that video put up on your yeah, man, that was insane. We're gonna it's so like nonchalant the way she comes across. Yeah, we're gonna release all these convicts and
nobody's saying why. What the fuck?
Sex trafficking, murder, all this stuff is being reduced now to release these people. And so this is the insanity. And the thing is, how much is it going to take before the people are like, not another, that's it, we're done. We're done. We're not doing, we're rising up. And then, you guys talk about it all the time, like, Flash, and, that's what they want us to do. That's what they want us to do so they can do this. Listen, this is what they want. Let's give it to them already, because I'm tired of just not doing anything. If that's what they want, we give them what they want and commit 100% to it.
I'm going to tell you something that I don't know how you're going to feel, but it's going to come out a little rude. I don't know how you're gonna take it, but the same thing with the Galactic, bro. Why are you taking so long? If the UFOs are,
I agree,
already, man. I agree. Down, dude. Just fucking set the tone already. Because it's like you're letting it play out. You're letting it play out.
Q, the white hats, all that shit, and then Sarah, all that stuff is fine. It's pie in the sky, and until you actually show it, until you actually do something, I don't consider it like anything that exists in my life as far as it's already done, the plan, they're already in control. No, if they're in control, go ahead.
Sorry to cut you off there, bro. There's this thought that crossed my mind because you just brought up Q, and what do you think if Elon Musk was Q? You think that's a possibility? The way he has. No, well, he's got access to information, or he's probably got people that's got access to information.
Elon Musk is an anomaly because he comes from a satanic elite family. You know that. You do know that his mom's a satanic. He comes from that side of the tracks. So it's like I look at him with an arm up, just saying, "Hey, like what you're doing, but caution."
The apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Same with DeSantis. I liked him a lot, and then all of a sudden I find out he's a member of the Skull and Bones Society. Big flag.
Yeah.
Big flag. You can't ignore those things. You can't ignore those things.
Right.
You can't.
Okay, so why would DeSantis go against the agenda if he's part of the club?
What do you mean, because he's got to play the role of the hero. That's what you accused Trump of for all these years. You accused him of being the same exact person.
I think it's a collective, bro. I think it's just two birds, two wings with the same.
I'm not saying he is or isn't. I'm just saying it's total. Like they need a hero, and they know that the left is done, so they need somebody on the right to usher in because we'll trust him. I'm not saying this is what it is. I'm just saying that that's what they do. They give the world a hero, and if Trump was that person, I think we would have found out by now, because they wouldn't have been. The thing is, what proves Trump is not that person is because they're still attacking him. They're still trying to prevent him from being anything significant. Sense. And if he was one of them, they wouldn't take that much time and effort. They would build him on a pedestal and usher him in, but they're trying to block him at every expense. So at this point in the game, you got to say, all right, he's not one of them. They're destroying him at every angle you could possibly. They're not doing that to anyone else. So that's your answer.
All right. Well, Morphy.X, here I is. I want to go on the record right here, right now, with you guys here, and say I'm officially on Team Trump.
Hey, listen, Morph, it's time. You've got the answers. Like, it's been years.
If I switch, dude.
It's been years.
About time, bro.
I mean, everybody should switch. It's just like at this point,
I want to remain nonpartisan, right? And but looking at everything you just said, JB, is 100% what convinced me to finally see it. I'm like, you know what? He's out of office. Why do they still feel threatened by him? Why are they threatened by this guy? Unless
so obvious.
Unless they know that he's got the people behind him, and the amount of people behind him can truly transform not just America but the rest of the world.
Absolutely, he's got the people.
Like, in his presidency, he didn't start no wars, but not only that, he went and tried to make peace. He crossed the border between South and North Korea to be one of the first presidents, if not the only, that's shook hands. Okay, you want to neutralize a dictator? That's how you do it, bro. You use your star power, and that's what Trump has: is star power.
Fucking A.
Morph is a perfect example of somebody who's critically thinking, who was not buying it for a long time, but looks at facts and makes his decisions based on what the facts are, and then puts the pieces together critically, because he's very critical of Trump for years. And so now he's saying, all right, I've got enough information to make a decision, intelligent decision, that this is based on all of this. I can now confidently say this. And that's what critical thinking, that's what using your brain is all about. And by all means, I never faulted more for being against Trump, because I was like, all right, he's just got to get there. He's just got to get there. We can agree to disagree. We're on the same team. So that's a perfect example of that. And anybody else who's been like that is welcome to just put the facts together and abandon where they were prior to that, because it doesn't apply anymore. It doesn't fit. It doesn't make sense anymore.
Yes.
So thank you more for sharing that.
You know what? Also, you can apply that critical thinking to examining what have we gone through for the last 2-3 years. The narrative versus we're still alive. Have you guys gotten the jab? I didn't get the jab. Did you guys get the jab? Yeah, and we're still here. So what now? That's what I want to tell them. What now? Besides issuing an apology, that's what I keep hearing now. Arnold Schwarzenegger is issuing an apology for what he said. Oh,
really?
Yes.
So the celebs are starting to come around?
Yes. Because they know that backlash once, because everything that's been happening, the suddenly died syndrome,
oh, God.
Healthy youngsters, man, early 20s, mid 20s, athletes, bro. Athletes. Do you know why they targeted them, by the way, guys? Because who would be the front line of humanity if it's not these folks? The next generation exactly.
Strong athletes, men.
Exactly. So now what they've done is they've reversed that agenda, effeminated men, and pushing drags down our throat.
And the military, they forced the military, our soldiers, to get this thing. They basically are weakening the strength of a resistance. And the toxic masculinity is strengthening the male, the alpha male, so they can't resist. I mean, the alphas and the real deal, they're aware of it. But yeah, they've turned men into women, and because women are they're dots, they're not as big of a resistance. So yeah, that's right on the money. So yeah.
Let me ask you guys something to close the episode, guys, because I gotta go. I'm already running on low battery here. How do you manifest greatness in a point? What I'm trying to say is, how do you get out of the earth problems, right? And become higher aware, higher consciousness to a place where you could find happiness and peace, and not let Trump and not let Biden bother you, not let the trans community bother you.
Unplug from the media. Unplug. Stop looking at that stuff. You could do it right now. There's people living a blissful life right now, living in this dimension, and they're not touched, they're not affected. It doesn't doesn't affect their lives. It doesn't come to them because they're not giving it credit. They're not acknowledging, they're not looking at it. They're not watching the news. They're not on social media. It doesn't exist in their lives. So they just go about their life, and their vibration attracts good things. They're not attracting mobs of people, to attack. They're not, when they go to the supermarket, they're not running into the low vibration people. They see people with smiles on their face. That's what your world will become. Just unplug from it. Just don't give it. It's not your reality anymore. You unplug. I had to do it. I had to unplug from all of it for a while. And as a soldier, I jumped back in to work. You're a soldier. Morph's a soldier. So we know we got to jump into the jungle and get in and then get out, recharge, get in. But if that's the life you want, or somebody listening wants that life, just stop. Just don't look at it no more. And it won't be a part of your life. You can't control it anyway. You think you could control it? Everything you see every day, you can't control. So why let it affect your day?
You could only control yourself. That's
right. It's going to happen regardless.
Makes a lot of sense.
What you got, more? I don't consider us soldiers. I consider us more warriors.
Yes, warriors. Good word.
With ancient souls.
Yes.
That souls and spirits that have chosen to come here for this specific time, in this specific period, in this realm, and whatever you want to call it.
Yes.
We chose to be here because the world needs our light and our voices.
We volunteer.
Our energies. Exactly. And to add on to what you just said, JB, not only disconnect, take it a step further, connect with nature. Reconnect with your
Whoa. Big time.
That's what I've been blessed and fortunate enough to do when arriving here now, is I'm surrounded by divine, godly nature, man. Like beautiful, stunning scenery, and I'm immersed in it. And from there, man, you are able to transform the
peace.
world. You know, find
Charge your
peace within
battery.
yourself.
Yeah,
Yes.
dude. Yes. When you post that stuff, and I see you posting your stuff in the sun, it's like I feel that vibe that you're carrying, and that, dude, that is a great add-on. It's get into nature,
Yes.
connect with Gaia.
Yeah.
That's the
There you
formula.
Guys,
go.
if I may add, you change the world. Each mind is a world. You change your mind by disconnecting, unplugging, like you said, reconnecting with nature and reconnecting with a higher belief system like God, the creator, angels, whatever it is, something that motivates you to be like that. As a, it's an example of what you should be and be a better human being, right? And you change your mind, you change your world, and everything that you see changes, everything that you receive changes, everything that you drink changes, the people that you meet changes. You attract all that greatness, and that's not a fucking lie. And you know
Absolutely.
what, bro? This was a fucking lesson for me, because I've been going through fucking hurdles this a couple months now, and maybe that's what I need. Maybe I need to change my world from the inside. Yeah,
I got goosebumps, bro. My hairs are standing up right now.
absolutely. Guys, this is a fucking Paranoid Radio podcast. JB from Rogue One Media and more. Please let them know where they can find you, JB.
JB, rogue1media.com. You could find me on Instagram at Rogue One Media, or YouTube, Rogue One Media, Facebook, Rogue One Media. Share a comment, say something, and then let's get a conversation started.
That's right. Morph?
They can just do a search for Breaking the Matrix. I'm on multiple platforms, decentralized, centralized, deep web, on web, or on the big tech. Basically, you can find me on Twitter, Morphy.X, or IG. I have two profiles, or many, but the two main ones are Universal Love Frequency, pumping that positive energy out there, enlightening the world through wisdom and spirituality and all that higher consciousness goodness, and Breaking the Matrix Official, which is basically red pilling, dropping red pills all day, every day.
Always.
You know what, guys? I wasn't able to do an introduction, but maybe I could do an outro off emotion. JB and Morph, specifically Morph, when I met Morph, I was maybe 19, I think like 12 episodes in, and he made me wait like 2-3 months for him to be on the show, and I thought he was never going to be on. I just shot at him. I was like, yo, get on the show, bro. He had over 100K followers on Instagram, and this guy is so fucking selfless. This dude came and he didn't only fucking promote me on his platform, but he gave me a solid episode called Twisted Emblems on season 1. It was for my fucking birthday. It was all timed up for greatness, I'm telling you. And then after that, he didn't only slingshot me into the fucking community, but then he grew a bond, and I was able to connect with JB from Rogue One Media, formerly from Fail Academy podcast. And now I have to be honest with you, I'm the biggest fan from JB. JB, you're a business owner. You're a fucking, you're a mogul in the community, bro. You're a fucking light warrior, and you're a fucking, you're a sound engineer. You're a video editor. You got the fucking package, and I celebrate both of you guys. And I want to thank you guys so fucking much for being on the show. Believe it or not, this show probably didn't turn out the way we wanted it to be. But you know what? We're here. We fucking made it happen. I'm fucking coming down. You guys are fucking, I'm fucking present, and that's all that matters. We were able to see each other for a moment. We were to share this fucking these 2 hours on Zoom meeting, and now we're gonna share it with the listeners, and hopefully you guys could get some listeners to follow your rogue1media.com, and then obviously on your Breaking the Matrix.
I thought it turned out exactly how I wanted it to be. At the very end, boom, nailed it.
Same right here, bro.
Peace, love, namaste, Morph, happy Easter and happy Kwanzaa, everything else.
Thank you so much, guys. You guys are awesome.
But wait, just before you get off 2 seconds, Easter is a star, as you know. That's a pagan thing that they swapped out with Christianity. So
yes,
no, I'm not down with it. But anyways, you dropped an
feel
episode already on it.
You guys did an episode,
Everything.
right? You did an episode on pagan Easter. You did one?
Yes.
No.
Oh, you didn't do that yet?
We did Valentino. We did Christmas. We did Thanksgiving. They're all fucked up, and they're all adopted by the Catholic Church. Pagan Roman holidays, and they just transformed them, relabeled them, and resold it to the people because people were stuck in their ways. So to sell Christianity, they fucking just really. Oh, dog, it's deep. Yeah. It's a deep hole.
Deep. It is deep. Blasphemy. Peace out.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Peace out.
Peace. Bless.
Had no, but you had